friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to begin with a pack of some of these Dollar Tree straws. Here's what the package looks like. These were extras from last year that I happen to have, so the package is open. And I'm just simply going to snip these in these different sizes. I'm going to create a little ladder to go with my tier tray. And since these are paper straws, I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree's bamboo skewers to fill them in the inside, and that way they are strong and they'll last a long time. So I'm just simply going to snip off the excess, what I don't need, and I do this to all of my pieces. Now I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue and put some in both ends of my straws, because I'm going to place these bamboo skewers inside, and that way they won't fall out or slip out. And I do this to all of them in the same manner. Just a little dab here and a little dab on the other side, and then just put the bamboo skewer in like that, and it sets pretty quickly. So here they're all ready to go, and here I'm just showing you that all the bamboo skewers are in there. Now I'm going to start assembling my ladder, and I'm going to begin with my smallest, which is this one. I'm just going to add a couple dabs of glue, one on each of the straws, and placing the small rung on top. And then I'm going to take the longest one and place that one on the bottom. That way I have a good start. That way they're nice and even. So I just begin by placing the long one down, and then I'll space the other two just for a test run to see how it looks. Looks great. But once I added the hot glue, the second step is longer. Oh my goodness. Try. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of this baker's twine. This is from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to add a little dab of glue on my straws. And I'm just going to crisscross and secure these together. That way they will stay. They won't fall apart easily. I'm just going to take a little dab of glue and kind of secure the end, and then snip off the excess with my scissors. And then I do this to all of the joints on the ladder, and until they look like this. Now these are a bunch of bamboo skewer tips that I've been cutting off, but I saved them, and I'm going to use them to attach these plastic peppermints. Now the Dollar Tree does have these. They are on the pink and green Christmas trees at Christmas time. These I got from Amazon in one pack. But yeah, if you wanted all Dollar Tree, just find those pink and green trees, and yeah, they're on the very bottoms of them. So now I'm going to add a dab of glue into the holes of these peppermints and pressing in the tips of the bamboo skewers, and these are going to use to press inside the ends of my ladder, and then that way each end will have a decorative look like this. And look, I'm even going to drop it to show you. It's terrible. Nothing's coming off. So now I'm going to add some of these little bows. Now if you think that's too much, you can always leave the bows off, but you guys know I'm extra. So now I'm going to use my little Gingys. Of course, these were from last year. They don't have them at Dollar Tree yet, but I was able to find a bunch at clearance last year. So of course I scooped them up. And I'm just going to add some hot glue and place one on each of the rungs like this. Looking cute. The rest of them I'll stagger them a little bit, that way they're not all just one in a row or all in a row. I'm going to add one here to the left, hold it until the glue sets. Just takes a second like this, and then I'll add the next one to the right like this, and then the last one to the left. But yeah, for some reason they had a bunch of these last year on clearance. People didn't buy them. I was shocked. So of course, I had to get them. And then I didn't show it, but I added a little bit of faux frosting on the tops of the ladder and the Gingy. And here's how it looks in a closer look at the final reveal. This video is a part of the Gingerbread in July decor DIYs, and I'm joining with my sweet friend Sarah from Gingerbread DIY. You guys know every year we do this together. I feel like she's my Gingy soul sister. But anyway, we are doing DIYs today for this video. I'm doing tiered tray DIYs, and I believe her DIYs are larger, so it's definitely going to be a treat. So when you're done watching this video, please head on over to my description box and click the link to her channel and enjoy her video. And I'll also pin it in my comments for your convenience. For DIY number 2, I'm going to begin with a pack of these DIY wood cubes. They are the wooden dice from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to go in with the apple barrel paint in the color Nutmeg Brown. And I'm also going to use a few of these wooden skewers also. So now here I'm trying to find the best direction that I want these. I want all the grains to go the same direction. I'm going to take my drill and I'm going to create a hole for each of these dice. But I'm just going to start with one for now to make sure that the bamboo skewer is going to fit. And it doesn't. The hole's not big enough. So I'm just going to use my drill to make a wider hole. And now it fits perfectly. So I do this to all 3. And I'm going to adhere the bamboo skewer to the wood dice with some of the super glue wood glue. You guys know this is my favorite. I'm just going to press it in there and get it nice and secure. And again, do this to all 3 like this. Just kind of make the hole a little wider by maneuvering my drill in that manner. See right here, got to do it again. Sometimes it's just a process. Add a little bit of glue and put it inside like this. Now let those dry and cure. And now I'm going to take my markers, my acrylic paint markers from Arrtex, and I'm going to draw my little gingy faces. And again, you guys know I just do simple because, yeah, it might look a little interesting if I go a little too elaborate. So I just keep it simple. It's best for me. So now I'm going to use some of the fabric Puffy paint from the Dollar Tree to create some pupils for the eyes. And then I'll also use it to make some little freckles on the face. I think those will look so cute and they're pretty easy. Kind of hard to mess up. And now I'll use some more to create some of the icing on the top of these. Like this. And now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper to protect my surface, and I'm going to use some of this super fine sugar glitter from Amazon, and I'm just going to give it just a little bit on here and shake the rest off. And look how cute! And I'll go ahead and do this to all 3 of my little cake pops, and I'm going to allow them to dry completely. Now here they are, nice and dry. Look at that. Now I'm safe to add my straws because I wanted the bamboo skewer to be a little more decorative than just a piece of wood, or should I say bamboo. And I'm going to measure how much I need. Snip off the excess on these straws. And I don't show it, but I did add some hot glue to adhere them on. And then finally, I'm just going to add some little bows. I'm going to use this Dollar Tree ribbon. And I'll just create one real quick to show you guys how I make these little bows. Just kind of tug the tails and the loops in this manner till you get the size that you want. And then for these, I'm just going to snip them off at an angle like this. And I'm just going to add them with some more super glue. And that is it. Look how cute for your tier tray. Here's how they look and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to use one of these wooden palettes, mini palettes, that my sweet friend Diane gave me. Give it a good paint of some Nutmeg Brown. And from last year, I had some of these wooden spools, these mini spools left over from a project. So I'm going to use these. And I'm just going to adhere these onto the underside of the palette with some of the super glue wood glue. And place them like this. Just a tiny bit of glue. I think the less glue, the better the hold is actually. More is not better. It's actually less is a little bit better when it comes to this kind of glue. This one has a little bit much, but yeah, we'll go with it. So I'm just going to set that aside, allow that to dry for a second. In the meantime, I'm going to take some of this Crafter Square fabric. It's a red and white gingham fabric, and I thought this would be perfect. It's got Christmas colors. You could use this for summer too, of course. I'm going to do this little notch and tear off a piece that I want to use. I'm just going to tear it off. This one was a little harder to tear than normal, but we got it. And I'm just going to tear off another little piece, just another little notch, and then tear. And at the end here, I had to use my scissors to finish snipping it off because it wouldn't tear. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it was a little bit too strong on the bottom. Here I'm just trimming off any extra threads that might be just hanging out. Although I do really like the fringe on the ends, so I definitely like that. Okay, so now here I have these little cookie cutters that I had used in my last video. If you didn't get to watch that, I'll post that one right above here. You want to see it. But I made these mini cookies out of foam clay. And here I'm just using the end of my silicone spatula to get them out. Now here they are. And here is my little palette table, looking great and ready to be used. And now here is my piece of fabric that's going to be my tablecloth. And I'm just going to place it on top and taking my little mini cookies and placing them where I want them to go. I used most of them. I think there's only a couple I don't use. Kind of ran out of space. And then I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to adhere all my cookies onto my tablecloth. And I'm pretty generous with my hot glue. That way it goes all the way through and onto the palette itself as well. And just look how cute they are. They need a little bit of embellishing, so I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree fabric puffy paint, and I'm just going to take my time and go along the edge of all these cookies. One thing I really like about this puffy paint is that the nozzle is so teeny tiny that this kind of detailed work makes it so easy. So here I'm just going to take my time, go all the way around, get them all done. Look how adorable. Now I'm going to go in with the Extreme Glitter by Mod Podge when my puffy paint is dry. And I'm going to add some of this just to make everything look extra special and delicious. And like this, I coat them all. And once this dries, you're going to see how this glistens. It's so pretty. They are just adorable. This is how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 4, I'm going to use one of the jewelry boxes. My sweet friend Diane gifted this to me, but the Dollar Tree does have these, as you know. And I'm going to paint them with the nutmeg brown, of course, and I did take them apart. Now here is the hardware, put it back on, just makes it easier to paint. Now I'm going to use some more of this fabric. Here I'm trying to figure out how much I'm going to need, just kind of guesstimating. And I'm going to do a little notch with my scissors and tear it off completely, kind of fringe the ends a little bit more. I just really like that fringe look. Remove any stray pieces of thread that might be too long. Kind of place this where I think I want it. It is a little bit too long, so I'm just going to snip a tiny little bit and tear off this piece. And now that's a little bit better. Now I'm just going to take some hot glue and do some on the inside of my little jewelry box like this, and then quickly place my fabric in there and kind of massage the glue so it won't be lumpy, it'll be nice and smooth. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the top. Snip off a little tiny piece. This one was so small that it just wouldn't tear, so I had to use my scissors to snip off this piece. And then all I did was just kind of fray the end, that way it all matched. Just remove some of these fibers and pieces of threads like this. Now that's perfect. And now just do the same thing. Use some glue on the inside of this lid and placing my fabric inside and just kind of pressing everything down. That way the glue is not lumpy. And now we're ready to go. Cute. So I'm going to close it up for now. And I'm going to add a couple of these little gingerbread men and a couple of these plastic peppermints. I'm going to take 2 of the small ones. These come in 2 sizes, a large and a small. So I'm going to use these small ones. And I'm going to take some hot glue, put a nice dab on it, and put it down on top of the little gingerbread man, like he's carrying the peppermint. Super cute. So I do this to both. And I'm just going to simply take some more glue and placing them on top of the jewelry box. And this is how I'm going to decorate this cute jewelry box. This jewelry box is going to hold a pair of my favorite pink gingerbread man earrings. You'll see that in the final reveal. Okay, so now I'm going to take some more of this fabric puffy paint from the Dollar Tree and I'm just going to give it a nice icing accent, and I'm going to go all the way around this little jewelry box. So I'm just going to take my time, make little drips, and the trick here is don't make all the drips the same. Make some longer, make some shorter, make some closer, make some further from each other, and then just have fun. And I like to do this with honey for the bees, my bee DIYs, and I just love it. And here's how the top looks, and here's how the front looks, and here's the inside with my earrings, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 5, I'm going to use some tumbling tower blocks. These are the ones in the brown color, so I don't have to paint. Love that. And I'm going to use some of this super glue wood glue, which you guys know I love, and I'm just going to start building a Christmas tree with these. I made these before, actually when I first started my first channel, my shopping channel, and I did my crafts there. I made some of these trees. I'll show you a picture right here. These are not going to be as tall as those other ones. They're just going to be a little shorter, but nevertheless, I'm going to make 2 of these little trees because I think they are super cute and super easy to put together. So here are both of my trees. I'm going to set these aside, allow them to set because this is a lot of glue. In the meantime, I'm going to take some more of these tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to use up all my brown ones because I don't have to paint, so that's great. So now I'm going to take my drill and a piece of wood, and I'm going to create some holes. So I'm going to hold them tight with my fingers like this, and then make my holes. I don't go all the way through, just halfway or so like this. So this is going to be holding my trees in place. So I'm just taking my time. It looks like I'm going fast, but I'm not. I'm actually going slow. Just want to make sure these things don't fly away. So here's one, and here's the second one. And now I'm going to take some more of these tumbling tower blocks, and I'm just going to use 3 together using the same super glue wood glue to create a little base. Just 3. Here's some more glue like this, and I'll do 2, 1 for each of the trees. And again, little glue goes a long way, a lot better than a lot of glue. A lot of glue will just take forever for this to dry or dry overnight. So you have choices. So here I'm just going to allow these to dry for a second, putting them aside. And I'm just going to take one of these wooden dowels from the Dollar Tree, these little mini ones, and I'm going to cut it with my miter shears, and I'm going to cut them in a staggered way. That way they're not even, they're not exactly the same. Paint them with the nutmeg brown, and then go in with the wood glue again, add a little dab to the bottom, and placing it inside the hole, and then just kind of push them in. And I do this to both, and I'm going to set them aside, allow them to dry a little bit, that way I can proceed. Now in the meantime, my little trees are dry. I'm going to go in with the Puffy paint, the fabric Puffy paint from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start to do some more of the drips of the icing, faux icing accents like this, and I go along all of the edges until it looks like this. Now here it's still wet, so I'm going to take my craft clamps to help keep them stable. Now here's both of them. They're both still super wet, and I'm so careful here because I don't want to drop them. What a mess that would be. I'd have to start over. So I'm going to take my parchment paper again and my super fine sugar glitter and give these a nice glistening look like this. And again, being very careful. One wrong move and disaster. Here's the other one. Do the same thing. And I think I did touch like a little corner at this point here, but it wasn't so bad. But you can see it on the parchment paper. You'll be able to see a little white speck there where I actually touched it. But look how cute. So I'll set these aside. Make sure that nothing touches it, nothing bumps into it. And here I'm going to do the same thing with these bases. Now at this point the glue has already set for the most part, literally that quick. So I'm going to do the same thing. So they look like this. And again, give it a little bit of that sugar glitter decadent look. So here I'm just going to fill them up and then remove the rest. And I do this to both. Just gives it that magical Christmas look, I think. So now here I'm going to set them aside. Allow these to dry. Now these I ended up drying overnight because it was a lot of paint. So here I'm just going to show you how I put my glitter back in the container. I just kind of fold this parchment paper and just let it go back down, go back in. And that way I don't have a big mess everywhere and it's contained. So yeah, it's great. So put this aside for another time. Now here's the next morning. Everything nice and dry and set. I can remove my craft clamps. Looking great. Ooh, that was close. I was so scared I was going to make a mess with these things. Okay, so now I'm going to use some hot glue and I'm going to place it on the bottom parts of the Christmas trees, and I'm going to set them on top of the wooden dowels and just hold it until the glue sets, which doesn't take long, so it works pretty great. And I'm just literally just holding it, and once I feel like it's set, then I'll just put it aside and do the second one. Okay, that one's done. And I do the same thing to the second one. Allow that to set completely. In the meantime, I'm going to take some more of the little gingerbread men. I'm going to add some glue, hot glue, and I'm just going to adhere them end to end to create like they are on top of each other. So I'm going to do a set of 3 and a set of 2. And the reason why I'm doing a set of 3 and a set of 2 is to help hold up the left side of these trees, because I don't know if you noticed, but the left side is a little longer than the right side, and I just felt like I needed some kind of reinforcement, and this will help because I'll adhere the head of one of the Gingy Men to the tree and then the feet to the base. So now for the trio, do the same thing, and I think this will hold it well, like this. Now this one on the left is a little bit more crooked, so we'll just call that one whimsical. We have a whimsical one and a regular one. So now I'm going to take some of these plastic peppermints and I'm just going to do a dab of glue and add them to the very tops as like the stars or the toppers. So I place one on each, and then I use some more of these peppermints, a large one and a small one, to do some embellishing. And I place this on the back side like this, like maybe they're just falling off the tree or something. And then I just take my time and do a little bit of embellishing, not too much. Kind of did it off camera, but here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 6, I'm going to take some more of these tumbling tower blocks. I'm using all my brown ones for this video. And I'm taking some more of the wood glue, or the super glue wood glue, and I'm going to start adhering these together in this manner. I think it was 3 rows of two, I believe. Can't remember. Oh, 6 rows of 2, and I'm going to place them in this manner. And then I'm going to take one, use some more of this glue. I'm going to use it to where it'll fit this block. So I'm going to do little dabs on the sides, on the left sides, placing a block on top. Try to get it as perfect as I can because I'm not using any hot glue for these. And then I do the same thing for the other side. Just one little dab of glue on each of the corners on the right side. Placing a tumbling tower block on top, like this. And then I do the same thing to the other one. Now I'm going to place them front to front, like this. And on its side, actually, I think that made it a little easier for me to make. Like this, in this position. And I'm going to take some more of the tumbling tower blocks and some more of this glue, this wood glue. And I'm going to place it in this manner, and I'm going to do 3 just like that. So I'll do a little dab here, a little dab there, and place this one on top. And if you guys are confused what I'm making, don't worry, you'll see it in a minute. Do another one here, and then place that on top. And mind you, everything is still kind of wet, so I'm just trying to be careful. Everything's still, it hasn't set completely yet. It's set enough where I can work on it, but see? So I just have to be careful. So I decided to put it on this way, that way I could do the top part. So it worked out. Now here this one's falling, so I'm going to use some scrap wood to kind of hold it up. And this worked very well. So here, okay, now we can continue. Now yes, I could probably use hot glue, but I don't like using hot glue because it tends to leave like a little gap. And I don't like that gap. I like to be flush. So I'm going to do some more wood glue and then place these on top. Kind of hold it up like this. So yeah, I think I did make it a little harder for myself by not using hot glue, but I don't know. This is what I like. I don't mind. I don't mind the challenge. I'm just going to straighten them out. And I did use a little bit too much here and there. I do see that. So I was trying to be careful not to use too much. Okay, so now I'm going to add some more tumbling tower blocks on these points here. And I'm going to take another tumbling tower blocks and placing some glue on this side. And I'm going to place it so it'll hold everything together on the bottom part and on the top part. And I'll do the same thing to the other side. And I'm just going to show you everything because I want you guys to see how I made this. It's an engineer project. No, I'm just kidding. No, I am making a little cart. So it's starting to take shape. Looks like a rectangle, kind of. I got to reinforce this backside, same way. And as I'm working, all the glue is setting nice and strong. So I'm pretty happy with that. And all these pieces are just reinforcing everything. That way this will not fall apart. And everything's nice and snug, no gaps anywhere. Well, where the glue is anyway. No gaps where the glue is supposed to be. And all this excess glue will dry clear, so no worries there. Okay, so now my little rectangle is done, my base. Look at that. So now I'm going to add a couple handles to my cart. Now here, I don't know how I did this, but this one I did right. I put it in this way, in this angle. The second one, I didn't do it right. And I didn't even notice until later, but I did fix it. You'll see here where I did this one wrong. I don't even know what I was thinking. But I could have cut all this out, but I want to show you guys. Yeah, sometimes things just happen. Look, this one's wrong. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to continue, and here are my little peppermints for my wheels, and I'm going to adhere this with some of the Fix All adhesive from the Dollar Tree. It works great. Works just like E6000. So I'm just going to do a nice dab of it, and since these are plastic, I also do a little dab of the hot glue. That way it can have the immediate hold and then the long-lasting hold. And I'll just place it on here for one of my wheels. And then I go ahead and add the rest of my wheels in the same manner and allow these to dry and set. Now I'm going to take one more tumbling tower blocks, and this one I'm just going to use some hot glue because I need to place it right in the bottom and the middle as like a brace. Put that in there, sets up very quickly. Now I'm happy with it, and I decided to use a piece of that same fabric I've been using in this video to put inside. So I'm just going to add some glue there where I put that brace, that support, and kind of place my fabric in there. And then I go ahead and reinforce the rest of it with a little bit of hot glue. So I'll just do little dabs here and there and spread my fabric to make it look cute. and add some glue, and I just take my time to get this done. And I do this to all sides. And I also tack down the fabric where it goes over the little cart, because this little cart is going to be carrying some cute little things. So I'll need to press that down. And I don't show it, but I did use some more of the Puffy paint to embellish this little cart. I ended up doing this part off camera because I ran out of the Puffy paint and I had to go get some regular Puffy paint. So now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to take a couple pieces of burlap fabric that I had, and I'm just going to create a little burlap bag. I'm just going to add some hot glue, fold it down, using my silicone spatulas to hold it down, because this can easily burn your fingers. So just like that. Do the same thing to the second one, removing some of these fibers. I do like that frayed look on these as well. So add some fabric, do the same thing, fold it down, and just gently press it down with my silicone spatulas. Now that they're nice and cool, now I'll place these together to create a little bag. And I'll just do the tiniest little bits of hot glue, just tiny, tiny, tiny. And just adhere them closed, like this. I really didn't need the silicone spatulas at this point, because I just did just the tiniest bit of glue. And once I get all the sides adhered, then I have my little burlap bag, and I get to fill it with a couple little fun things. So here it's nice and ready. Snip off a couple of pieces that are just kind of stray. So now I'm going to fill it up with some more of these plastic peppermints. I'm going to do a few sizes. I'm going to add this piece of burlap inside for filler, and I'm going to add a large peppermint and then 2 small ones, and I'm actually going to adhere them together. That way they won't be sliding around. And so I'll just do a little dab and then place these together, and then I'll place it inside. And then I decided to do another one, an extra one, once I placed it inside. And I thought it wasn't full enough, so I added one more, another smaller one, and then I just placed it inside. Yeah, I can get a little extra with my embellishments. But it's gonna look so cute. So here I'm just trying to get it finagled in there. And then I wanted to add a couple little candy canes, and I had these tiny little ones that I got from last year from Amazon, and they're just made out of clay, real soft clay. So I'll just add a few little dabs of glue and then stick them inside, just like it's just a bag of goodies for baking. Here's one more. And then off camera I do add a few pieces of greenery just to make it look like it's been outside. And I do fix that one handle that's wrong. I fixed that. And I also add some puffy paint just to make it look super cute and decadent. And then here I found these little blocks that I had painted together for another project, and I'm just going to add my little gingies onto here. That way they're a little bit raised and not falling inside of the cart anywhere you can't even see them. So this will just raise them just a little bit. I'll put one on the left, one on the right, and then I'll just stick that in there, just not glued or anything, just put it in, and that's it. Super cute. Here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 7, I'm going to use one of these wooden picture frames. It's the circle one with the stand, and my sweet friend Diane gave it to me. And I'm going to paint it in the Snow White, paint by Waverly. And I'm going to use one of these plastic lids. You guys know I use these. If you follow me, you know. And they just come from the spring mix containers of lettuce. So I like to use the tops of them, the lids. And I'm going to cut it just to fit this frame. I want to give it a base for something to hold. So I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to press it down, adhere it to the wood in this manner, and then I'll adhere the top part of it, just a little bit of glue, just trying to make sure it doesn't seep out into the middle of my frame like this. Now I'm going to take another one of these peppermints. I'm going to take the big one. I'm just going to adhere it to the inside middle. That way it looks like it's floating in there, like this. And then I'm going to take some of these gingerbread men from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to place them around this wood round here in this manner. I'm trying to fit as many as I can. I could only fit 6, but I went ahead and just placed them in this manner. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, there's 6. I have 6 children. So I went ahead and adhered them on there. And then I thought, wait a minute, let me represent my kids. I always represent my grandkids, but let me represent my kids this time. So I have 3 daughters and 3 sons. So I'm going to do 3 little bows. One up here, my oldest daughter. And then 2 more, one for each of my youngest daughters. And so I just placed them on here. And then I decided to make a cute bow for the base of the round of the frame. So just using some of this Dollar Tree peppermint stripe ribbon. Then I'll create my bow, and I'll snip the tails at angles and add a little dab of glue and place it on the very base right here. And I thought it was super cute. And then I thought, wait a minute, my boys are not holding anything. They have to hold something. So I decided to give them some of the little candy canes just to make it really cute. So my oldest son gets a candy cane, and my 2 middle sons both get candy canes as well. And then that is it for this one. I think it's cute. And here's how it looks. And a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 8, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree crates, and I believe my friend Diane gave me this one as well. And I'm also going to take a craft stick. These are from the Dollar Tree. I just need 1. And I'm going to take my EMT shears and snip off the 2 rounded ends. And as you can see, my stuff just flies everywhere. One day I'm going to remove that greenery and see what all's back there. And I'm going to paint these in the Nutmeg Brown by Apple Barrel. Now I'm going to use these thicker, chunkier straws. These are from Amazon. And I'm just going to snip off what I think I'm going to need and use the rest for another time. And I'm going to use some hot glue and place a good generous amount on the base and place this straw on the inside of the top right hand side of the crate, and then do the same exact thing for the left side like this. Now I'm going to take some bamboo skewers and cut them to size. I just need the pointy ends. I'm going to take some more of those plastic peppermints, add some glue inside the little hole that's there, and place my pointy side of the bamboo skewer inside, and just place these inside of the straws. And I do add more glue. I just didn't show it here, but I add more glue to help adhere it in there. And now using some hot glue, I'm just going to take my piece of craft stick and I'm going to place it up here like a sign. So I want to make sure it's going to fit right. So I just add a couple of beads of glue and then place it on the straws like this. Hold them down till it sets. And so this is going to be like a little candy holder. Just look how cute. Okay, so now I'm taking some more of this fabric that I've been using throughout this whole video. And I'm just going to add some glue to the inside. And I'm going to line the inside of this crate with this fabric, pressing it down with my silicone spatula because it is hot. Do the same thing to the other side. And then pressing it down. And then I go ahead and tack the overage on the right side. Add some hot glue there, just a tiny bit, and press it down. Now on the left side it's going to be too long, but that's okay. We'll just snip it. And then I do go ahead and fray the ends a little bit. That way everything is cohesive. And I go ahead and tack that down with some hot glue as well, like this. And then I take my white marker, and with just my handwriting, I'm just going to write on there Candy Shop in the Old English kind of spelling. And then finally I just take some puffy paint and go to town with it. make it look cute and decadent. And that is it. This is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 9, I'm going to take 2 of these wood rounds. I got them from Amazon, I think last year, and I painted them with a nutmeg brown by Apple Barrel. And now I'm going to take my markers from Arrtex, and I'm just going to create some faces. And again, these are just simple Gingy faces, nothing too difficult. You guys know I do easy. Here's some little noses and little cheeks and the mouths. And then I use whatever was left in the Dollar Tree Puffy paint bottles because these tips are thinner, and so the detailing it is a little easier. And then I just go in with the regular Puffy paint, the thick one, to create the icing accents around the faces. Allow them to dry completely. Now these are dry. Now I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree straws. They're thinner than the ones from Amazon. And some more of my Dollar Tree bamboo skewers. Add a little bit of glue inside, hot glue, and place those inside to get them to be a little stronger. And I do this to both. And then I just take some more hot glue, add it to one side of the straw with the bamboo skewer, place it on the base of the little Gingy face. I'm making little lollipops for my tier tray. I thought that would look super cute. And then finally, I'm just going to create some little bows with that same peppermint stripe ribbon. And I'll just create one real quick to show you guys again. And just finagle the bow, pull the tails, pull the loops till you get it the size you want it. Snip off the excess, and I cut these at an angle again. And I'm just going to adhere it with some hot glue. I'll put a little hot glue on the back side and place it on my little girl. Oh, that's the boy. And then the extra one on the little girl. Like this. And that is it. And so cute. Look at that. Here's how they look. And a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 10, I'm going to take 4 of these flat palette planks or plaques that were given to me by my friend Diane. And I'm going to take 4 of these planks, these regular planks. Here I have just 2, but I do end up using 4 total. And I also used 16 of these little blocks, and I went ahead and painted everything with nutmeg brown. And I'm going to create 2 double stands to hold all of my tier tray DIYs from this video. So all I'm going to do is take some of the wood glue, which you guys know I love. I'm going to add a nice little thin bead here on this little ledge, like this. Again, no hot glue. And I'm going to place my plank here. And I'm going to try to hold it in a manner that I can add my craft clamps, because I wanted to use my craft clamps. That way it can hold it in place while everything sets. And so I add 2 here. And then I do the same thing to a second set, like this. Allow those to set a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to the first one, and I want to reinforce it with some of these little cubes, because I like to do that kind of thing. Now this DIY here, I'm just figuring it out as I'm going. I really had no plan, but I figured this would be cute. So I'm just going to add it here. That way it'll hold it nice and strong. And replace my clamp, put it back on. Do the same thing to the other side. Add a couple dabs of glue. That way one is holding the bottom and one's holding the side. Adding my clamp back on. And this will help all the glue dry and set perfectly. That way everything will be nice and strong. Okay, so now once these are nice and adhered, I'm going to turn this around. Trying to find the right way to do this. I'm going to repeat the process, but on the other side of each of these little stands. So here I'm just trying to figure it out. Like I said, when I do my DIYs, sometimes this is my thought process. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure it out. So to make a long story short, now here everything is nice and adhered. I just follow the same steps as the first 2, removing all the clamps. And look at that, looking so cute, my 2 little stands. But But now I'm not liking that you can see the little blocks there, so I decided to take some craft sticks. These are the long ones from Walmart, and I snipped off the ends with my EMT shears, and I painted them with the same paint by Apple Barrel, Nutmeg Brown, and using some more of my favorite wood glue. I'm just going to add a little dab on each of these little blocks, and then placing my craft sticks on here, that way the blocks are concealed. And I do this to all 4 of the sides, and I allow this to dry completely naturally on its own. And just look how cute! Here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. If you're on Instagram, I invite you to come follow me on there. Here is my QR code. I post on there Monday through Fridays. Here's my QR code for TikTok, Monday through Fridays as well. Also for Facebook, here's my QR code for there, also Monday through Fridays. And Pinterest also, here's my QR code there. This is my handle for Threads, and I post on there Monday through Fridays. Here's my QR code for Hometalk. I post on there twice a month. I do have a crafting group on Facebook. I invite you to come join us there. And now we're at the final reveal. Let me know what you think and which one's your favorite one. While I take a moment and thank Sarah from Gingerbread DIY for joining me again this year for Christmasinjuly and creating fun Gingy DIYs. I'm so excited to watch her video today. So when you're done watching this video, please head on over to my description box or just go to my comments. I'll have her video direct link there pinned in my comments. So it'll be easy and convenient for you to go watch her fantastic DIYs. I can't wait to see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe because more gingerbread videos are coming up for the rest of this month. I just love gingerbread in July, aka Christmas in July. Until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.